Yeah, this part was actually quite insane. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of questions. It's one of those parts where you kind of want to make a lot of theories and have a lot of questions. So it's very very interesting to see where the story's gonna go. And yeah, you guys knew what you guys were doing when you guys told me to stop at chapter 47. You guys knew what was coming, man. You guys knew. So anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So before we start, I just want to make some quick announcements. If you guys have not read my tabs, or if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, basically what's going to happen from the next few weeks, uploads are going to be very random. It's not going to be exactly on Sundays. I hope you guys are okay with that. Yeah, it's just been wild, man. Times have been wild. I think I barely get sleep as well. My eyes are probably red right now, so just bear with me for a while. I will try my best to get one video out every week, bare minimum. Let's get that out of the way, and now let's dive into the review straight away now. Okay, so in this part we will cover up to chapter 47. So we start off with Egwene's point of view. Now honestly, after all that Perrin, Rand and Matt hype that we've had in the last few parts, I'll be honest with you, I was not looking forward to Egwene and Nynaeve's part, man. I just couldn't be stuffed, man. However, this chapter was absolutely enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's insane, but it was really enjoyable. So we start off with Egwene and Elayne in the world of dreams, Tel'aran'rhiod. I was kind of confused that Elayne knows how to enter the world of dreams, but then I think I kind of remembered that how she had that stone thingy to actually get into the world of dreams. So fair enough. Now, this was so awkward, man, because Egwene came in and saw Elayne dressed as a sea folk. You know how they have like nothing up top. She was dressed like that. I'm like, Elayne, the future queen of Andor, the Aes Sedai, is dressed like that. It was kind of wild, man. And then yeah, she was very embarrassed when Egwene came up. Anyway, so a lot of stuff that we can learn now. The sea folks are literally crazy about Rand. We know that for a fact. Rand is like their new king pretty much, and they are trying to spread the word of their new king, of I don't know, leader, whatever way you want to call it. That's been going around. We also get to find out through both of these girls, I think we both know it as well, that both Avienda and Durin, one from the Aiel, the other one from the sea folks, can channel, use the one power, and they need to keep this kind of, especially for Durin's point of view, they need to kind of keep it on the low before some, I don't know, Aes Sedai comes and messes with them in the White Tower, because we know after chapter 47 that the White Tower ain't no place you want to be right now. We will talk about that at the end though. We'll talk about that at the end. And also, what's it called, Egwene did mention how Rand can be in danger because no one really trusts Rand at the moment, because like all the Aiel are very sus of him, because it is like in the prophecy that he's gonna destroy all Aiels. And then Elayne got very defensive. She was like, protect him at all costs, blah blah blah. She's like giving orders, man, to Egwene. So Elayne, we can see that it's like a theme. Like all these girls who have like mans are so defensive of their mans, bro. I mean, that's really good. That's actually really good. But I'm just finding that as a theme. You know, we've got what do you call it, Aiel with Perrin. I'm assuming when we see more of Nynaeve and Elayne in the future, it's going to be the same thing. And same thing with Elayne and Rand. Like, they actually want to protect one another, which is actually really good, you know what I mean? So, it's going to be interesting when, Elayne will have to share Rand with Min and, like, the third one. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen. Anyway, so all of this Egwene was not meant to do. She's not allowed to enter the world of dreams without permission of Amys. And pretty much Amys took Egwene into a nightmare, man. She literally is messing with Egwene. And also one thing, she shielded Egwene from the one power, so Egwene can't like counterattack. And yeah, Egwene did not have a good time, man. Amys was literally playing with her and scared the crap out of her. And literally, like at the end, Amys made Egwene agree that if she ever does not listen to her again, and from now on until she is actually properly trained, she has to like braid her hair and act like a little girl, dress like a little girl, since she wants to act like a little girl in front of Amys. Yeah, this is quite embarrassing for Egwene, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, so we get to find out why Amys actually came to get Egwene in the first place. They were having this, what's it called, gather up, only girls allowed. And pretty much, right, everyone was in like this sauna area. Like, they were trying to have like, I don't know. It was weird, man. It was very weird. Like, everyone was like, they can't have their clothes on. It was, why is this a theme at the, like, I swear, man, this is becoming a theme at this point, man. Anyway, so this gather up was all about Rand. Like, how can they control Rand? How can they guide Rand to follow the Aiel ways? Blah blah blah. So at the end, they all came up to a conclusion that Avienda was pretty much going to be glued to Rand. She was to pretty much watch his every move, stay beside him, make sure nothing happens in there. And Avienda does not like Rand. It's not clear to me why that Avienda does not like Rand. I think maybe because Rand didn't do something that he was meant to do with Elayne. Maybe that's why Avienda doesn't like Rand. And Avienda is like very good friends with Elayne. So Avienda did not like it for some reason. Or maybe she saw something in Ruiden that kind of caused her to not like pretty much hate Rand. So yeah, she was given the duty to look after Rand. Pretty much the next morning when Rand woke up, now we're in Rand's point of view. When he woke up, he just saw Avienda guarding his whole tent, and yeah, like they barely talk. Avienda's just there to do her job. This is such an awkward situation for both Rand and Avienda, because yeah, it just gets kind of interesting later on. Anyway, so they're on the move right now. I'm not quite sure where they're going. I think I may have forgotten, but we pretty much know that there's two kind of clans right now. You have the wise ones, you have the Jindo and the Shido. The Shido is led by Cauldrian, that evil bastard, and then the Jindo, they're kind of outnumbered compared to the Shido, but they do have Rand on their side and probably the wise ones as well. So maybe that's why they can't like overwhelm them, because Rand's just ridiculously strong. So the Jindo is protecting Rand just in case if the Shido tries to do anything shifty. Now, like I said, on their way back, Rand is literally with Avienda, and Avienda keeps hyping up Elayne. She's like, oh, Elayne has a very nice face, Elayne has a very nice shoulders, Elayne has a very nice smile, Elayne has that, Elayne has that. Like, she would not stop. And she's like, you have to marry Elayne, you have to care about Elayne. Like, I think she even mentioned that Egwene told me about Elaine's letter, and then Rand was like, wait, Egwene told you? Who can I even trust anymore, man? I swear, and Egwene, like, I think listen, I don't hate her, but I feel like that she might be, she might let words slip out, because she even told that Elayne that she will keep her promise of keeping Durin's identity covered, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Egwene will somehow let us slip out. I don't know. We'll have to see in the future. But the main thing in this chapter is when they came across a bunch of peddlers, right? So these peddlers were traveling, and then it was a bit odd. Like, how did they even get into like the Aiel Waste in the first place? These guys are very dodgy, man. And like I said, Ruark even found them very dodgy as well. He was asking the same question. He was like, if you kept going a few miles, you would have been to Ruiden by then, and that's not allowed apparently. So these people are very shifty, especially their names are, one of the peddler's name is Kadir, and then he's accompanied by a fat lady called Kali. My apologies, that's just how she was described. But yeah, Kadir, both Rand and Matt finds him very odd because he has this look in his eyes that's, according to Rand, very dangerous. And yeah, Rand at the end of this chapter was very cautious of him in specific. I don't know if he was a spy at the end or if the spy was like something else. I'm not quite sure. Was it a spy? I'm not sure. At the end of the chapter, I think Matt and Rand saw someone at the end, but then Rand was talking about Kadir's look that looked evil or looked seriously dangerous for the future to come. And I also want to talk about how Matt bought off Kadir's hat, and now he has a hat. I think it was one of the prophecies, how Matt will eventually get a hat or something like that. I'm not quite sure. So I think that's one prophecy fulfilled. So Matt now has a hat. He has now he has a quarterstaff with like a blade on top. And does he still have the knife from Shadar Logoth? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, these prophecies are building up slowly and slowly, so it's going to be quite insane to see how many more prophecies. I mean, I'm pretty sure there has been more prophecies fulfilled later onwards. We'll talk about them later. Anyway, so they got to this place called Emre Sand, and yeah, this place just got raided. Like, it was just gone. There's nothing left here. There's blood everywhere. There's bloodbath everywhere. Now, according to these Aiel people, that Trollocs never come to the Aiel Waste. However, Matt said that, this looks like the work of a Trolloc. And Avienda took offense. I mean, it's going to be a theme again, how Avienda will take offense to everything, pretty much. So, yeah, these Aiel didn't want to believe that they were Trollocs because it was just a traditional thing to believe that Trollocs would not enter the Aiel Waste. And I also want to mention, like, this Kadir guy, he also has another lady with him. This lady is, like, glued to Kadir. I think she was kind of, like, sweet talking with Rand. And after they were asking him about, like, the calendar and all that stuff, right? Like everyone else is curious about that when they see Rand, right? Avienda at the end was like, oh, so you like talking to girls like that? didn't you forget that you have Elayne waiting for you? Yo, at the end, is on to him. I don't know if she likes him or if she actually really likes Elayne as a friend to kind of say that. And also, one more thing is, what's it called? Rand wants to learn how to, train with the sword again. So he asked Lan, let's train with the sword. And then at the end, they got angry again, and she's like, oh, you don't want to learn the Aiel ways or something like that. I think there was another reason to it, but I kind of forgot. But anyway, at the end, Ruach came in. Ruach was like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you how to use a spear now. So now we see that Ruach is going to train Rand, to become more Aiel instead of more not Aiel, if that kind of makes sense. Probably doesn't, but it kind of does at the same time. We move on. Okay, now the second part of this chapter was probably more interesting because we get Matt's point of view, and Matt, he keeps thinking about the holes in his mind being filled. Like everything he does is more different. Like he knows what to do if he was to pick up, like, I don't know, let's say he wants to do a chore, right? He knows like the tips and tricks to do it faster. He knows extra stuff that's going on. Like some holes in his mind have been filled, and it's kind of weird. He also talks about the Aes Sedai, like he wants to be free of Aes Sedai. We still haven't got any confirmation on that yet, but that holes in his mind is making so much more sense right now. He also admits that he is fluent with the old tongue now. I feel like he can say new stuff as well, so this is very interesting news as well for Matt. I feel like, yeah, like I said, I feel like Matt's character in general has been like skyrocketing since the Dragon Reborn, and same thing with the Shadow Rising. Like his character is really interesting. I feel like Robert Jordan gave him good depth, like especially with the holes in his mind being filled up. And we'll get to another part later onwards, because then he was talking to his Gleeman, right? They were talking about Rand and blah blah blah. Later that night, the Gleeman was playing a song about like this old raid on Manetheren or something like that. And apparently Matt actually remembers the events. He remembers the events that happened on that night, because he was apparently the counselor of like the king of Manetheren or something like that. It was actually quite insane. Yeah, because apparently Manetheren was like under attack by another army. I forgot the names, man. Like the names are still like, I forgot to write them down, but they were under attack, and Matt kind of advised like the leader of his part not to kind of do whatever. And yeah, like a lot of stuff that's been happening that wasn't like really explained in this story. Like there were talks about the Red Eagle flag, and we were mentioned with the Red Eagle multiple times before, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, man. And yeah, after all those happy, calm, fun times, it can't be all happy when you're reading the Wheel of Time now, can it? It can't be all happy and, calm. Because literally, Trollocs and Myrddraals attacked these guys, man. Out of nowhere. It was like an ambush or something like that, but these Trollocs are dumb, man. Because you're attacking a bunch of Aiel people, number one. You're attacking Matt, who's like crazy at fighting. And then you're attacking the most powerful person in the whole entire world, Rand, of Thor. And you also have Moraine as the Aes Sedai. Like, why? Why would you even do that? You're asking to enter like a death sentence. But like I said, Rand and Matt, they handled all these Trollocs and Myrddraals like it was nothing. Like I've mentioned multiple times, these guys are just getting stronger and stronger. Now, I do want to mention a few things. I think it mentioned that the Shadow clan didn't get attacked as much, and when the Wise Ones camp wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for Moraine's help. That part kind of, I don't know why, is giving me vibes that someone had let those Trollocs in. I don't know. Now, I think I'm gonna make a prediction right now. I think one of the Wise Ones is like a Shadow Spawn, or like a Dark Friend. I think one of the Wise Ones is a Dark Friend. I don't know. Obviously, I think Amiss is obviously not, because she's like the main person. But I think one of the others, man. It's always those low-key ones that these authors plan to make evil, man. Like they're trying to keep them in the background, and then kaboom, Dark Friend reveal. Like, nah, man. I think it's one of those wise ones that's a Dark Friend. So I don't know, man. I could be wrong, but at the same time I could be right, man. We'll just have to read and find out. Okay, next we get introduced to a new character. Oh, I'm not sure if I kind of forgot, but I don't remember from the top of my head. But her name is Egwene. Now I'm pretty sure she is a Sean Chan. I mean, she is, because she was talking about the High Priest or whatever at the end. So she is in Tanchico trading with this guy called Gilb. She was buying off, I think, Adamas, and then those chains for like the Suldams, and what do you call them again? Like Demanes, yes, Sul'dam and Demanes, to like that chain thingy, right? That connects a Sul'dam and a Demana together. She's literally trading them with a guy called Gelb, and this Gelb guy apparently is hunting down girls as well for her. Like, yo, apparently any girl that can channel, it gets hunted down. Like, it's kind of wild, man. Like the Sean Chan, like this story has so many problems to deal with, man. You've got the White Cloaks, you've got the Sean Chans, you've got the Dark Friends, you've got the Forsaken, because we know that the Forsakens and the Dark Friends are not really linked together. And who else do we have? We probably have more, man, but I just can't think from the top of my head. It's actually wild, man. Like, the depths that this story has is actually quite fascinating and admirable at the same time. So coming back to Egwene, like I said, she's after specific girls that Gelb needs to hunt down, and I'm assuming they are girls who can channel, right? Now, after that, we get introduced to Caridin. Caridin, I'm not sure if I said that right again. The guy who is a Dark Friend and who's like a very high person in the White Cloaks thingy majiggy. Okay, now this guy, oh my god, I feel so bad. I mean, I shouldn't feel bad for him, man. He's an idiot though. Apparently he's been losing family members. It's been a few months now. I think a few months he's lost a few family members. I think he lost his sister, and obviously he kind of cares, but this guy is a selfish guy, bro. He was like, oh, I still have time. I still have time for myself because I have more family members. So if I have more family members, I have more time to live. This guy is cooked in the head, man. Oh my days. I mean, technically, I guess if I was in his shoes, it would be quite terrifying. But still, he gives off selfish vibes. I'm not gonna lie. He gives off a vibe that isn't too sweet. So, but I can kind of understand where he's coming from. Like, if you were in his shoes and your family members were getting chopped up one by one every month because you can't do a job, what else are you meant to do, man? But yeah, like I said, it's his fault for being a Dark Friend, man. Okay, I'm getting too emotionally into this, man. Let's just get back to the main story, man. Because freaking Liandrin absolutely humiliates this guy, man. And this guy was Bors from the Great Hunts. Remember the prologue in the Great Hunt, man? We were introduced to the man called Bors. This was Bors, man. Holy moly, man. I can understand why it will be a gem to reread this whole series, but there's so many things that you can pick up on. It's actually mad, man. Yeah, so basically Liandrin kind of hijacked the whole black, what's it called, the Murderer's plan. Remember the Murderer was like, you have, you know, this amount of time to hunt down Rand. Basically, Liandrin didn't even know about that plan. So once, Caridin spilled out everything that the Murderer kind of told him, Liandrin was like, you know what? Change of plans. You're gonna go to the Panarch's palace. You're gonna take control of that palace, and yeah, Liandrin will pretty much have control of that palace sooner or later, because apparently there's like some important stuff there. I think it's a Ter'angreal that can actually control men who can channel, and then we later find out, because when Liandrin has a meeting full of Black Argers, that's like the main thing they are after, to control Rand. They want Rand on a leash, like literally on a leash. That's word by word in the book, man. It's very, very specific, man. That shows the hatred and then the control they want to have for Rand. So that palace is going to be very quintessential moving forward, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen, man. And I also want to mention a few more things, like these Black Argers were talking about the Forsaken, how the Forsakens are not really on their side, and they might be like a a hurdle to deal with in the future. And also want to talk about how Egwene at the end, she was kind of stopped by a Seeker. A Seeker is like people from the Sean Chan area, where kind of people like Egwene had to listen to. He just wanted a full report, and Egwene gave him a report. And then we also get to find out that she had a Sul'dam chained up in the basement, and apparently they used to be friends, and yeah, stuff. You can tell that Egwene is a woman of a duty, like duty over friendship, man. You can tell that that's the case with her. But yeah, let's just move on to the next chapter, because next chapter we finally get to know more about Elayne and Nynaeve's story, man. So Elayne and Nynaeve, they finally come down to Tanchico. They dock down. They parted ways with the Sea Folks. The Sea Folks just wanted to spread more words about their new leader, Rand al'Thor, the return of Rand al'Thor, blah blah blah. So that while they separated, Egwene and Nynaeve met up with Bael Doman, man. Like, yeah, it's been a while since we saw him, man. They know each other, right? So Bael Doman decided to help them. He took them to an inn because he's good with his words, you know. He has an inn from danger. So Egwene, I was gonna say Egyanen, man. It's gonna be difficult to kind of say Egyanen and Egwene separately, but whatever. So now Elayne and Nynaeve are now all safe and sound in an inn, and they are also accompanied by Julian and Tom. Now later that night, Tom was, you know, doing his peddler thing, man. He was playing songs, he was hyping everyone up. Everyone was having a good old time, man. And Elayne especially had a very good time. Because Elayne, you know, she's a very noble person, right? Her whole life, she wasn't used to areas like this where, you know, commoners have fun. So Elayne got really drunk, man. Elayne got ridiculously drunk, and she just wasn't herself, man. Because when Tom went back upstairs, Elayne followed him there, and yeah, she was just going mad, bro. She was all over him, pulling his mustache, blah blah blah. However, she did have memories of Tom when she was a little kid, man. She remembers specifically how Tom and Morgase were very close and how she was involved as well. So I guess now we can kind of confirm that Tom is Elayne's father, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure, but she has very, very good memories of that particular scene. She also, since she was drunk, she ended up bad mouthing Morgase. She's like, oh, since my mother wants to sleep around with everyone, that makes her, you know what makes her, yeah? And that kind of annoyed Tom so much. Tom got his hand and slapped up Egwene, man. Not slapped up. That sounds brutal. Slapped her across the face. Yeah, Tom slapped her across the face because he just did not like it, man. He felt like it's disrespectful. He was acting like a father, man. Like, so yeah, you can't really understand Morgase like that, given that point of view. So Tom was very, very defensive of Morgase, man. But then I think they ended off the night on a good note. Tom just said, "Are you okay? Blah blah. Do you want me to walk you back?" All that nice stuff, because when Elayne woke up, she was pissed, embarrassed. She remembers everything, man. But then when Tom came up, she was like to Tom, nah, don't worry, man, I don't remember anything. But yeah, she kind of now thinks that Tom is her father, but I don't think that's kind of confirmed. We need to hear that from Tom himself. Okay, going back to the night before though, when Elayne came back to Nynaeve's room, Nynaeve was not happy to see Elayne like that. So what Nynaeve did was she grabbed Elaine's head. She literally, I don't know, man, smashed her head down a bucket of water, and then she was like trying to drown her, man. Elayne could not breathe. But yeah, like I found that very funny, man. Like, yeah. It's really good to see Nynaeve back in action, you know what I mean? But the main part was that Nynaeve wanted to go to Tel'aran'rhiod to, you know, see if Egwene was there. So Elayne, while she's still drunk, she still was a decent support. So while Elayne by her side, Nynaeve went into Tel'aran'rhiod. Now in Tel'aran'rhiod, she took herself to Rhuidean and she saw a man, and apparently this man was dangerous because apparently this legend called Birgit, I think we saw this name at the end of the Great Hunt when Arthur Hawkins came. I think Birgit was one of the Hunters of the Horn or whatever. Anyway, she was there and she said that this man is bad trouble and you do not want to be near him. And initially I thought it was the Slayer guy who was in Perrin's dream, but I don't think it was anymore. After she relocated herself to Emond's Field, this guy who looked like Lan came to attack her. Now, from future chapter descriptions, we know that this man who looks like Lan is the Slayer guy, because according to Perrin's descriptions, he looks like Lan. So yeah, I'm not sure what that all was about, but I'm sure I'll find it later onwards, because at the end of the chapter, Elayne and Nynaeve were dressed as proper Tarabiners so they could just do some shifty business in the city. And now we move into Perrin's point of view, which we will stay here for a while. Okay, so Perrin, he has been hunting Trollocs for the last few days, man. They're just literally obliterating Trollocs, man, left, right, and center. And he has quite a lot of people to support him. And yeah, right now, at the start of the chapter, we saw him in the graves of his family. He was just counting every single blade according to every single family member. So he was like replicating every blade or every arrow to his family members, like, oh, 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead. This is another theme that we will see as we go on, that he will continuously kind of blame himself for not being there soon enough, for not being able to save enough people. So we can see the kind of person that Perrin is. He is really, really growing on me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always liked Perrin, but This book is like Perrin's book. I swear, man. Perrin has gotten a lot of spotlight, man. So another thing is when Aiel came back with Mr. Lord Luke, she told Perrin that Alanna had multiple times, I think just one time, escaped from Loyal's sight. So that kind of even, you know, it brings more suspicious towards Alanna, man. I'm telling you, man, she's a dark friend, man. She's a dark friend. I don't care if she does anything good. I don't care if she heals Perrin. I don't care if she kills freaking the Dark One himself, man. She's a dark friend. That's it. Alanna is a dark friend. I'm so confident right now that Alanna is a dark friend, man. Another thing is we know that Perrin does not trust Mr. Lord Luke. Like, the only thing that Perrin trusts is his axe, his bow, and Aiel. He's a very simple man, just like that, man. He's very, very simple. Also, one more thing is, I think everyone kind of assumed that they have hunted down every single Trolloc and Myrddraal in the whole entire area. So Mr. Lord Luke was like, I think we should go back to Emond's Field because, you know, our job is pretty much done here. But Perrin was like, nah, I want to be 100% sure that everything else is eliminated. And he was right, because when the Aiel people came back, these Aiel people were actually scouting the area. They were like, there are actually 500 or more Trollocs that's coming this way, so we better do something about it, you know. But still, Mr. Lord Luke was like, you know what, I still better go to Emond's Field because I feel like they need my help. Like, this guy is so annoying, man. I don't like him, man. I hate this Lord Luke guy. So Perrin took a bunch of people to ambush these Trollocs that were kind of scouted by the Aiel people, and they were waiting at a particular spot just for these Trollocs to come in a particular area where they could just attack them. But no. These Trollocs came from behind. Instead of ambushing these Trollocs ambushed them. So there's a traitor. 100% their positions has been given away. At first I was like, it has to be Mr. Lord Luke. But I feel like Robert Jordan wants me to believe that. It has to be someone else though. Damn it, man. But I think it's Mr. Lord Luke. That guy's a traitor, man. I don't care, man. Or it might be Slayer, man. I don't know. So yeah, this was not good, man, because these Trollocs just killed way too many people. I think from memory it was like 27 people, which is a lot according to Perrin, because Perrin was just super freaking guilty. And while he was fighting, he got shot by a Trolloc arrow, and Trolloc arrows, they're barbed by like some poison thing, so they're not your typical arrows, which kind of messes up Perrin later onwards. We'll find out, we'll talk about that more. So then a Myrddraal comes, and Perrin was just so freaking worried about Aiel. He was screaming Aiel's name, Aiel, Aiel, Aiel. The Myrddraal heard the name, and the Myrddraal was like, Aiel, she was delicious. That was so freaking creepy, man. Like I said, man, Michael Kramer, man, you're one creepy dude, man. You're one creepy dude. But yeah, the Trolloc, it was hard for Perrin. This is the first time that Perrin kind of didn't overwhelm a Myrddraal, because at the end, the Myrddraal was literally about to kill him until like Ivonne came. I think Ivonne is Alanna's warder. Thanks for clarifying that in the comments in the last video. He is Alanna's warder, but he seems like a cool guy, man. He doesn't seem like a shifty guy, man. So I'm kind of confused. Can warders be Black Archers? I'm not quite sure, man. And they need a shelter ASAP. And guess who they came across to? The Tinkers, the Tuatharans, man. We have not seen some of these characters since book 1, man. Yeah, like I said, we got to meet Rian, Ella, and Aram. Remember Aram, man? God, we got to meet all these characters, man. But before we actually get to these characters, right? All three, Aiel, Bane, Chiart, and Gol. My bad for saying Gaul the last video. Yeah, my bad. Gol. It's Gol, apparently. These three did not want to be anywhere near these Tinkers, so they kind of camped like in the woods, man. So like according to like the Rood and stuff, we know kind of the differences between the Tinkers and the Aiel people. So anyway, what's her name again? Illa. How do I say it, man? Ella? Yeah. This lady, right? She was very caring, man. She wanted everyone to be safe. She straight away took Perrin into, you know, one of the cabins so where he could be healed. Now, she couldn't heal him. She could only like kind of stop the pain for a while because he needs treatment from Emond's Field ASAP, and that's where Aes Sedai are. He needs Aes Sedai treatment. Oh yeah, let's talk about Aram, man, because when Aram came, he was like, where's Egwene? Yeah, this Aram guy, I remember he is the reason why I hate Egwene so much in the first 2 books. Literally because of this dude here, man. Because at the start I was shipping Rand and Egwene so hard, man, and I thought they were promised to each other. And then Egwene was messing around with Aram. Like, what are you doing, Egwene, man? But I guess now it's okay. Egwene can do whatever the hell she wants, because she's not promised to anyone, so it's okay. But it's good to see Aaron, man. Not really, but not really, but yeah, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. But yeah, he also talked about like, oh, are you still like with the wolves and stuff like that, which kind of like tickled Fael's mind, and Fael was like, what is he talking about the wolves? And this is where Perrin finally gave Fael a full summary of his life, man, of what happened since the Eye of the World. Like, yeah, we didn't get to read the summary, thank God, but yeah. And then Perrin at the end felt like he needed some answers from Fael as well, because Fael recently has been talking about her dad a lot. So Perrin was like, who is your dad, man? And now we get to find out that apparently Fael's dad is like very closely related to the Queen of Saldea. He was like some lord and some general or some counselor in Saldea. So Perrin was like, why does a lady like you want to be with a blacksmith like me? And her answer was very simple: love, man. Surprise, surprise, it's all love, man. It's all love. And then Perrin was like, I'm not the king of anything, but she was like, but you can be the king of the wolves. Yeah, man, I think Perrin's story is very, very interesting right now going forward. Very interesting. And Fael, I feel like Fael is a very good compliment to Perrin as well. Very, very good. I think she's also growing on me. I didn't like her before they came to the Two Rivers because she was acting a bit childish, but I think right now I kind of like the dynamic between Perrin and Fael. Okay, now we get another wolf dream. Now Perrin is in the next to the way gates actually, and he sees the way gates open. Now this is actually very big because we thought that the way gates were closed, because didn't Loyal close them? Apparently not, because later we find out that Loyal only closed the way gates from the inside, but he didn't close it from the outside because he just didn't want to destroy it or something like that. So that was what his reason was, which we'll talk about later. But in the way gates, he also saw Slayer, man, and Slayer was talking to Perrin like how he was the reason that the Trollocs came here, or how he's gonna control them. I didn't quite understand that. I feel like the Slayer guy is still kind of a mystery, man, so I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen, man. So when Perrin woke up, he was instantly like, I have to go to the way gates, so it's open, the Trollocs are coming, blah blah blah, we have to go right now. Fael being Fael, straight away she's like, you can't go. Like, how are you, who's gonna take you? Who is gonna take you? Who's gonna protect you? Are you gonna protect yourself? Because no, you're weak. You can't go, man. Even I'm stronger than you. And that's true, man. Perrin is gone, man. He is finished. That barb absolutely destroyed him, man. Like, that arrow killed him because he can't do anything. He can't even get up the bed properly. He even needs Fael to help him get dressed, man. Like, that's how bad it is, man. So the best thing he can do is go to Emmonsfield and get healed as soon as possible. And that's what they ended up doing, man. They ended up leaving the Tinkers towards Emmonsfield. Now, before they left, Perrin told Rand and Ella multiple times that they should come to Emmonsfield for protection. But then the Tinkers believe that their protection is on the, like, you know, their protection is to go to the next destination, to keep on the move. That's just how the Tinkers are, man. And yeah, let's just talk about the next part. We'll get to what happens later, man. Yeah, so before they went though, actually, I want to talk about this one thing. I don't know why, it just caught my attention, man. These Tinkers were dancing, like the girls in specific, and all the guys were like very intrigued. And then Fael was like, if you're so intrigued, man, I might do the Sasara dance for you one day, man. Apparently this Sasara dance is like some next level dance that will get some crazy attention. So yeah, Perrin wants that, man. Perrin wants that. Alright, now at Emmonsfield, everything is different, man. It's guarded well. There's literally catapults. There's like weapons, like things that have never been in the Two Rivers before. Apparently, like, the warders have been training them. The Aes Sedai also were teaching them a few things and stuff like that. So it's like a battlefield right now. Not really, it's like a fortress. Yeah, that's the word. It's like a fortress. It's a lot better defensively. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Emmonsfield, you know? It's very, very interesting to see all this stuff. Now, Perrin is greeted by Varen. Varen was like, you need to go to Alana. This is beyond my power. Only Alana can heal you. So while Varen was taking Perrin to Alana, he heard multiple people saying, oh, where's my son? Where's my brother? Where's my this? Where's my that? Where's my that? Like, Perrin felt like it was all his fault. Like I said, he felt very responsible, and he's filled with regret right now, filled with regrets. He just wants to get out of there, man, because it's freaking taunting him right now like crazy. And yeah, when he's inside and he's waiting for Alanna, all of the boys, and guess who we meet again, bro? Egwene, bro. Egwene in like the first few chapters of the Eye of the World. I thought he was going to be one of the big characters. Wait, didn't Moraine give him like a coin at the start of the book? I wonder what that's all about, but who cares? So we get to see him, but he doesn't really seem that important, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that Robert Jordan kind of gave us is he's like more grown now. He's a bit built, you know. But yeah, they were all asking Perrin of his, like, you know, of his journey. Oh, what's the goal? Where have you been? Have you met any kings or queens? Have you been to the White Tower? They were all very fascinated, you know, because you didn't see much people leave the Two Rivers, man. And yeah, like I said, Loyal did say that he closed the gate from the inside and he feels responsible for letting the Trollocs in. Now Perrin said, "Don't worry, I will take care of it." And yeah, Loyal just didn't listen, man, because the next morning Loyal and Goal went to fix the way gates, which we'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, so when Alanna healed him, he woke up the next morning and saw Fael very suspicious, like she was not telling him much, she was keeping very secretive, and Perrin manages to get that out of her, and then she spills out that Loyal and Goal went to close the way gate, and he was not having it at all. He didn't care if he was fully healed. He got up, he strapped up, he was ready to go. Fael, being Fael, tried to stop him, and when they got down to the stairs, they both tipped, fell over, rolled down all the way down, and yeah, Perrin just landed on his back and Fael was on top of him. It looked like what's it called, teenage love, man. It looked like teenage love, because when Marin Elvira came in and she was like, "Yo, what the hell is going on? We've got Trollocs outside, we have white cloaks outside, and now you guys are doing some Titanic shit, man." Yeah, so, and then also Marin was like to Fael, "You know what, if you want, I can teach you how to handle men, man." So yeah, like Fael looks up to Marin, man. Like, that's crazy, man. Okay, now coming back to the main stuff, someone called out Trolloc attack. There has been a Trolloc, apparently, a single Trolloc which has been taken care of. Now Perrin, he can't fight, he can't do anything, so the only thing he can do is just stand and just watch. But his presence itself was so powerful that people want answers from him. They wouldn't listen to any outsiders, but they only want answers and commands from Perrin. Everyone wants to know his opinion on everything. So Perrin is that guy, man. He is that guy. And yeah, like I said, Emond's Field is very well defended, because when these Trollocs attacked again in a bunch of groups, they were taken care of just like that, man. Like, Perrin didn't do anything to even help. Like, they just dealt with it nicely. However, it's kind of weird because Myrddraals are not stupid. There were Myrddraals there as well, so why would Myrddraals attack a base that they knew was going to be defended? So it's predicted that they will come again in a different way, or I'm not sure how. There might be a dark friend involved. They might do something shifty. So it's all, I don't know, it's hard to predict, man. Anyway, moving on, there was this massive noise on the other side of the town. When Perrin and stuff rushed there, they saw two river folks attack an incoming party, which were the Tinkers. Perrin immediately stopped it, and he wanted to welcome these Tinkers into Emond's Field. Now, everyone said no. Like, I think even the Wisdom and freaking Senbui said no, wouldn't want them. And then Perrin was like, "Do you want to feed them to the Trollocs then?" That kind of, like, I don't know, opened their eyes, man. Another thing is, like, these people knows what's right and wrong, but they need Perrin to tell them that. It's just, yeah, I mean, Perrin, he's just that guy, man. But these Tinkers apparently took a massive loss, because they are missing, like, literally all of their numbers. Like, they got attacked by Trollocs, I think, and yeah, they're like, most of them are gone, man. And Perrin again feels responsible for this, because he felt like he should have forced them to come to Emond's Field. But yeah, like, everyone's dead, man. Like, I guess the main guys are still alive, like Rand, Ella, and Aram. These three in specific are alive, and we don't know any other Tinkers, so. But still, it's mad. We know that Aram's mother's dead. We know that because later on was Aram's, like, when they were in shelter, there was a bunch of swords on the side. And Aram, this guy took a sword, man. He took hold of a sword, and then when his grandma Ella came downstairs, she was like, "Drop that! No, don't do that! You lose yourself. Come on, don't do that." Aram was like, "They killed my mother. We have to get back. We have to defend ourselves, man. I don't want to follow the way of the leaf anymore, man. And that's when Ella was like, you have fallen into darkness, man. It's all your fault, Perrin. You and your wolf-like ability has corrupted my grandson, man. So what, like, this, I feel like this accusation is kind of unfair on Perrin. Like, you can't really, yeah, that's a bit tough. Yeah, so Aaron wanted Perrin to teach him the sword, but then Perrin was like, go to Tamalthor. You'll be good if you go to Tamalthor. So I think that's also another prophecy that's been fulfilled. How Perrin is seen with a tinker with a sword, if I'm not mistaken. Just like with Matt and his hat or something like that. So yeah, very, very interesting to see Aram, a tinker, take up a sword. I mean, it was always gonna come. I knew it was always gonna come. And if this wasn't getting crazy enough, man, White Cloaks come, man. Incoming White Cloaks, man. And guess who kind of confronted them? Perrin was there and the Mayor Bran was there. But still Perrin was there, which was, yeah, it was mad, man. Because the leader of these White Cloaks were Dane Bornhold. Now, apparently Dane Bornhold came to question them because Mr. Lord Luke was like, Emmonsfield is free of White Cloaks and they don't take orders from White Cloaks anymore, and White Cloaks are not welcome. That's what Mr. Lord Luke said. Now, Dane Bornhold took offense. She was like, anyone who doesn't accept us is not on the path of the light or whatever, stuff like that. And he also wants to arrest Perrin because he's got his personal reason, and that's where Perrin kind of, you know, tried to explain himself, how he was not the reason of his father's death. But Dane would not believe anything he says. He still wants to arrest him and stuff like that. We also see Mr. Child Buyer with his look. His look is more lethal than Dane Bornhold's look. And thank you guys for clarifying who Buyer was again. I forgot in the last part, but yeah, now I remember who Buyer is. That son of a... Yeah, let's continue. So we also get to find out through the White Cloaks that Terran Ferry is completely gone. And then Mr. Lord Luke asked Bornhold, was Ordith at Terran Ferry? So I'm telling you, man, this Luke guy, what's up with him, man? He knows Ordith. I mean, I think they all know Odith, but why is he asking about Odith in specific? Does he work with Odith? Is he Odith? This Mr. Luke guy, bro. I don't know why I call him Mr. man. He's just so annoying, bro. I hate him, bro. I hate him. At the end, Perrin decided to make an agreement with Bornhold. He's like, if you help us, if you help us defend the town from the Trollocs and fight the Trollocs, we will give you shelter. We will let you stay with us, and I will, you know, give myself up at the end. I don't think he said give myself. We will just negotiate more or have an agreement at the end. And then the mayor was like, you can't arrest Perrin. You can't, put dragon marks on people's doors and shit like that, like the White Cloaks do. And Bornhold accepted. Straight away accepted. I'm telling you, I don't think Bornhold is a bad guy. I think he just corrupted in the mind with Perrin only. But other than that, I don't think he's that bad, to be honest. Bornhold is fine. It's just that Buyer guy. Okay, next we come back to Egwene's point of view, where she's following Gelb, because this Gelb guy is trying to hunt down some specific girls because they are worth gold. And this Gelb guy had either Elayne or Nynaeve targeted. I think it was Nynaeve. So this guy had Nynaeve targeted. And yeah, Elayne and Nynaeve they can't use the one power to defend themselves, because apparently if you use the one power, other people who can use the one power can detect you, and they don't want the black Argers to know where they are. So they were very hesitant to use the one power, and that's where Egwene came and helped them out. And yeah, at the end they couldn't get the job done, so that's when Elayne used the one power to weave some bits of air to finish up the job. And yeah, Egwene knew straight away that these were Aes Sedai. Not really, even though they were not Aes Sedai, but yeah, you get what I'm saying, yeah? So, in order to thank Egwene, Nynaeve and Elayne invited her back to their house. And they were like, okay, so you know that we are Aes Sedai, so that's all good with you, right? And Egwene was like, yeah, no. Because she's like sweating behind, she's very uncomfortable with Aes Sedai. Now, another thing is, we know that Elayne and Nynaeve are not Aes Sedai, because just the way they act with everyone. Like, Aes Sedai are very demanding, they're just cold, they show no fear. Elayne and Nynaeve doesn't have that. They speak normally, they let everyone else fool them. And Egwene was like, are these people really Aes Sedai? Same thing with Egwene and Amys, because when Amys thinks Egwene is an Aes Sedai, and then I think Egwene lied to Amys because she said she would not go to Tel Anriel, but she did, and then Amys was like, "Are you really an Aes Sedai? I thought Aes Sedai don't lie." Like, it's very interesting to see other people's reactions through their behaviors of not being like Aes Sedai like. It's actually interesting. And yeah, so when Egwene left, we get to find out through Tom that the lady Amathera got refused. I'm not sure what that exactly meant, but yeah, it's predicted that there will be a bunch of riots happening soon. There's gonna be a lot of chaos. So I think that's all Liandrin's plan, man. I think Liandrin and like that guy Carradine is gonna do some hectic shit, man. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what's gonna happen. Like, yeah, Tanchico, it's very interesting. I thought it was gonna be boring, man, but Tanchico is getting very interesting right now. I want to mention one more thing. Egwene noticed that they are linked with Bael Doman, and Egwene knows Doman, so that's I'm not sure how that's gonna play out, man. I'm not sure. I want to believe Egwene will turn good. I want to believe that, but I'm not sure. But I have faith in Egwene, man. Don't let me down, Egwene, man. I have faith in you that you will be good. Maybe you're bad right now, but you will be good later. But here's the crazy part, right? After everything happened, this random lady walks in, literally does some vampire shit, man. She compels both Elayne and Nynaeve. Like, as soon as she walked in, both Elayne and Nynaeve were not acting like themselves, especially Nynaeve. Nynaeve does not take orders from anyone, but then she's like sucking up to this lady so much. This lady got all the information, such as Belal's death, how the guy in Tear was probably Ishamael. Baalzamon is Ishamael. How stuff about the Black Argers hunt, the Teangril that might put Rand on a leash. All of these information she's getting freely because she compelled both Elayne and Nynaeve, and before she left she was like, "You are not going to remember anything that had happened." And when she left, that's exactly what happened. Both Elayne and Nynaeve forgot completely, and they resumed their previous conversations about the Black Arger. So holy damn, this, I forgot, I think she had a name, man. I forgot her name. Maybe I forgot her name, man. But I don't think we've met her before. Have we met her before? I am so invested in this character. Holy moly. This might be a problem in the future. The power to compel. She just walked in the room and straight away, that's it, the spell activated, man. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But you know what's more crazy? The next chapter. Because yo, it's one. Yeah, you know what's coming, man. You know what's coming. Anyway, so before we get to that part, we read a bunch of news, right? How there's been war around the world. It's signs, right? Signs of the breaking of the world, whatever, all that shit, man. We also know that Mesrim Taim is still on the run. He's like nowhere to be seen, and we know that Masima is like Rand's biggest fan, bro. He's just spreading word about Rand. But the door opens. A few Aes Sedai walk in with Eladia. And okay, I would have never predicted this, bro. Never saw this coming, man. Because no matter how many Aes Sedai comes in, you can't just... Basically, the Amyrlin seat was like, "What are you doing here? Do you know who I am? I'm the Amyrlin seat, man. I can turn you into a novice again." Eladia was not phased. She was not phased at all. She took that shawl off her shoulder and she shielded her from the One Power. She compressed her with air using her own power. And she was like, "We had a meeting with all the other Aes Sedai. Enough for a meeting to go on. And we have all decided that you are not fit to be the Amyrlin seat anymore." I swear I did not see this coming. I was so shocked. Like, it's that easy to remove the Amyrlin seat? Is it really that easy? Or am I missing something? But at the same time, I swear, Eladia can't be a Black Arger. She cannot be a Black Arger. I think she's just evil, but not darkness evil. She can't be a Black Archer. This part doesn't make sense, man. Or is she? Man, I'm not sure, man. Basically, even her keeper, Leanne, I think her water got killed, man. Her water got killed, and both Eladia and Leanne got stilled. They don't have the one power anymore. They don't look ageless anymore. They don't look like an Aes Sedai anymore. They look like peasants. Like, yo, this is some big moves, man. Big moves by Eladia. And then Min, what's it called, saw warders fighting each other, man. Warders and soldiers fighting each other. The whole White Tower is going nuts, bro. Mad. And then Gawain and Galad are fighting against Siuan. They're fighting against the cause of Siuan. They're fighting for Eladia, man. But I feel like there's some different tones compared to Galad and Gawain. I think Gawain might go into a dark path, bro. I think Galad, he just seems frustrated, bro. He seems angry, while Gawain seems calm. Like, when Min, Eladia, not Eladia, when Min, Siuan, and Leanne tried to escape, Gawain was so pissed off. He had his sword on the neck of Siuan. He's like, what have you actually done? That's the only thing he cares about. Egwene and Elayne, what have you done to those two girls? And this is the first ever time that Siuan had to lie, because she's not an Aes Sedai anymore, so she can lie now. She's like they are in Ilion, which they are not. And then Galad believed them, and Galad just set them free. And before they actually leaves the whole area, they saw Loghain walking in front of them. Now Siuan convinces Loghain, okay, listen, the Red Sisters captured you. They did all of this stuff to you. Loghain wants to die, bro. He wants to die. He is given up hope. And Leanne kind of is on the same boat. She's very depressed as well. I feel like Siuan is the only person that, yeah, she feels sadness, but she's trying to fill that sadness with some motives. She at least is strong enough to move on. So she motivated Loghain to take revenge on the Red Sisters, and yo, Loghain accepted. Now Loghain is in the crew, bro. I'm so pumped for this, bro. I remember the first time we read about Loghain in the cage. I was so hyped, man, and now Loghain is back. Yo, and that ends part 5 of the Shadow Rising. Now, this part is long, man. It's like I'm recording right now. It's over 1 hour right now, but there was a lot to talk about, man. There was a lot to dissect in this part. I am absolutely hyped up for the last part. I think I've made all my predictions throughout the video, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. This is insane. If you guys like this video, make sure to give me a big likes. Subscribe if you haven't, because yo, this is getting insane. And of course, any thoughts you have in your mind, leave it down in the comment section below. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Wow. Take care now. Bye.